All right, we back. We back. Um, we were streaming and we froze, so I had to reboot my streaming software. So hopefully we are okay. Hopefully we are okay. Okay. So in this video, we're gonna go through making beat in Studio One, and this is for beat maker beginners. 803, what's up? What up, bro? So once again, this is a live session. I have to somehow mesh both these videos together. I had a fire introduction, y'all. The introduction was crazy. I'm joking. I felt like it was a good introduction though. I was multitasking, trying to get things done. Um, we froze, but now we back. So hopefully everything is looking good and audio is working. And yeah, we'll keep going. All right, so a little bit about Studio One. Studio One, we're in Studio One 5 point something, and Sphere has came a long ways. I've started in Studio One since 3.0, I believe, and we are 5. So several years down the line, I've been using the Studio One as my trusty DAW. I use Studio One to mix, master, of course, make music production and sound design. By the way, it is really easy to sound design in Studio One, which is why I am always in Studio One. Studio One is like one of those platforms that do everything, and it does it pretty well. Now, sometimes it crashes. It just depends on what you got going on in your system. It depends on your operating system and like how fast your system is. And actually, it does really well on older systems as well. But again, it depends on how much stuff you have on your system. Depends on your processing speed. Depends on how much memory you have in your system. Anytime you're doing music production, you definitely want to have enough memory in your system in order for it to run smoothly. I would suggest that you not be in any other applications when doing music production or video editing because your system slows down. You need your DAW Studio One, right? You need that to have as much resources as possible. So, and that's to help cut down the freezing. Studio One tends to freeze up and shut down. Also, what happens when you're in Studio One is if you have a plugin that is faulty or whatever the case may be. I wouldn't say faulty, but I just think that sometimes, just dealing with third party, it tends to hang up. So you definitely don't want to have any cracked plugs. Speaking of cracked plugs, it is one of the reasons why Personas has decided to release this new thing called Sphere. So if you are a Sphere member, you pay monthly on this platform to have storage space like Dropbox, meaning that you can collaborate with different other Studio One users or non-Studio One users. It supports both as long as you give that person a link. But it's super cool when you collaborating with people who use Studio One because it actually comes up in your Studio One. It comes straight up. Like let's just go straight there. So right here when we click on cloud, make sure that that's the right place. I think that's the right place. Yeah, you just got to be logged into. I want to say you got to be logged into Exchange, but Exchange also you can collaborate. Well, not necessarily collaborate, but you can download presets and whatnot through here. Other people, I guess it's like a collaboration a community. People upload presets and whatnot. So you might have like a vocal chain or a chain for bass or a chain for drums, which means like there's EQs or compressors and different settings and whatnot. Even beat maps are in here. So you have to be in Sphere. So that this is Exchange. That's what I just explained just briefly. You sign in, you'll see. I was trying to show you that, but when you're in Sphere, it shows you how much space you have free in your total, and then when you hit manage, it takes you to the web as it looks. This is what it looks like. And let me log out of that. I was not trying to have I had a video to pop up in my ear. Anyway, so when you when you go in, it's supposed to be able to manage this. I don't know why it's not showing me. I think I'm doing something wrong. Or or maybe they changed it. They may have changed it, guys. So this is what it looks like. This is your workspace. Um, so it's kind of like Dropbox. If you were on the web, it'll take you and you could collaborate people like that. And if you got a file in here, then you can actually make comments like SoundCloud. Let me stop this. So you can make it's just loading right now. But yeah, that's the cool thing about Sphere. We're going to get to the good stuff in a few seconds, but I just want to point out some of these things that people don't talk about as much. You get the file details. It tells you if it's WAV or MP3 or whatnot. So I'm gonna come out of this. It's rendering. Okay. So it doesn't. That's a long file. That's an old file. As a matter of fact, let me see. I don't know if these files were like. There we go. There's a file. So like you can make comments and stuff to it, just like SoundCloud. So this is a great tool when collaborating because you can go to any of these parts and say, hey, blah 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 about this part right here specifically. You can make notes to certain area of the song. It's kind of cool. Again, I'm not sure why it's not coming up right here on the side. Okay. That's why. So, depending on how you are viewing this, which would be this here, you can see your workspace. So there we go. There's our files. So again, this is what makes it cool. And I can just drag this in here, this session right here. So yeah, that's the cool thing about this. So I guess if you're looking at things like this, you're not gonna see what you're looking for. Oh, you have to double click. If you're in this view, double click. All right. So I'm okay. Double click on this as well. So yeah, like patterns, go in here, say you got something you want to drag in. Like for instance, I'll drag that in just to show y'all like how cool it is. Boom, just drag that straight in. And then this little dialogue, this window here shows you what's being downloaded. I just finished downloading something that they released. These are a couple of things that and see this is the caveat of being a part of the Sphere membership. You pay a small fee each month and they are always constantly releasing stuff. So this is a new kit. So this is a NOLA kit. So while I'm talking about all this, let's just go here now. Let's see what's going on. If we go here and go to the store, I want to say I need to get to the store. Where is the store? I can never remember. There's so many links up here. Okay, products, blah 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 blah. Support, events, sample, library. That might be it. Yeah, okay. So you could take a look and see what's going on here. And there's not much on this page. I don't know. Why is it time? I think I have that kit. All this come with fear. We need to get to the store so I can show y'all. Bye. Come on now, really? It's just what we doing. I'm telling y'all guys, these things happens. They change stuff up, you know. 803, you said you're opening yours. I want to say NOLA is short for New Orleans, but I could be wrong. You might be right, 803. You might be right. Remember, guys, we are live. And I'm just doing this on the fly. I came unprepared. I didn't know I was going to go here. But I really want to figure this out. So, see, when I click on Sphere, you know, I guess I have to hit join now. No, that doesn't do me any justice either. So you got to pick your plan. Okay. Well, that works perfectly. But I'm trying to get to the store because I want to show y'all. How about we type it in? How about that? This is probably not going to do any justice. I'm about to do another video on the store specifically because they changed stuff. This is a little bit different. There's usually like a top bar, and that's what I was looking for, and they took that out, so it's different now. There's like these menus, and then there's the top bar. So I guess they made some changes to the site. All right, so I'm not gonna spend much time here, but basically, if you guys find the store, then you can see where all of the products and things like that. See, they always doing new stuff. Audio box. Now I gotta get my hands on that and do a review on it. All right, enough of that. Let's get out of here. So this is a sound set here. This is like a drum kit. This is MIDI information. This is patterns, so that means we can do step sequencing in here. You don't see a lot of people using this, but it's really cool, I promise you. So if I hit play, you're not going to hear anything because we don't have any drums or anything linked. So I have a bunch of stuff in my setup, but I'm going to keep it simple. So we're going to go to impact and we're going to drag it on to the track itself. Now, there are a few ways people drag stuff over. This is one of the reasons why I like Studio One, because I can drag stuff over. But I've seen people do things like this, drag all the way until they see, because they see something happening. Like you see that red, I mean, not red, but like a blue line. So people tend to think that that's the right way to do it. But you don't have to do that. You can just drag over to any empty space and it'll create a track or drop it onto the actual track itself, right? You can do it right here in the empty space, over here, obviously over here, but it don't matter where you drop it. It's the same. That's usually what I do. You guys see me on any videos, I usually just drag it over in empty space, and it usually just launches. So all right, so NOLA should be in this kit somewhere because I just downloaded it. There we go, NOLA. There's NOLA, but I was trying to show you what it was in the store. So click on the preset and let me play around with some settings on my computer because I am getting a lag. And it's very important that I don't get that lag because my programming won't be as accurate as I like it to be. So, with that being said, all right. So, you don't need an interface to use Studio One or most DAWs. It can come straight out of your computer, your laptop, or whatnot. Yep, this is the reason why it's lagging because it is not coming out of the correct source. All right. So, dealing with lagging is definitely important, guys. And that's what makes these things. Because if you lagging, that's going to be horrible. All right, so now that I fixed that, see, we live. I told you. No sound. Thanks. I'm glad I read that. Thank you, 803. 803 is not hearing any sound. All these crazy issues you deal with. That's what happens when you don't stream in a long time. I'm glad I caught that before we went super, super duper far. Super duper far. Ron is in the building. Dad, what up? What up? What up? What up? What's up, my family? What's happening, my family? My family, my family. My family, what's happening? It's almost like I forgot how to do everything. All right, we gonna get this. We gonna get this thing going. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I promise you, we gonna get it cracking. Oh, I see why. Something as simple as that. One button. There's always one button. One button ruins everything. All right, back to it. Good to see you, Dev. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you, man. It's great to be back. Ron say chilling like a villain. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you 803 for the update, man. That's what's up. I got a good crew here. $46 kilohertz. What up? Look like I'm in the band booth at one of the old Tyler Perry plays. That's interesting. That's an interesting statement. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's get back to it. Let's focus. Let's focus. Did I mention I have courses on this stuff? All right. I'm trying to strip down and teach you guys how the stuff goes for those that want to learn how to make music in Studio One. So it's just real simple. Here's where you make your beats. Impact. You got this other thing called sample. Sample one. I'm gonna keep it real simple for y'all. You got sample one, right? You can put your 808, your 808s in here. And all you gotta do, once again, you can even go to like Finder, or if you're on the Windows, go to wherever your files are, right? And just drag stuff in. Let me see what I got in here. I'm almost done with the drum pack too. I'm building it out. I'm almost done. All right, so that's one of the ones I got. So check this out. I'm gonna just drag it in. Boom. Simple as that. It's like a timpani kick. Simple as that, right? So that's the second one. And then you got this thing called presence. Now presence is gonna be where you have all of your acoustic type stuff. So your pianos, your strings, your guitars, your bass, stuff that's more acoustic. Now, when I say acoustic, meaning like live instruments, this is where most of the stuff lives. Now, don't get me wrong, you got synths that come out of this thing as well. You got your horns, pianos, your organs. Most of your orchestral stuff is going to come through here, right? So that's presence. And then the other one is called Mai Tai. Mai Tai is strictly for your synths. And this is all stock stuff. Now, Studio One is limited in terms of how many instruments that comes in here, but there are so many presets, and they're constantly updating this thing with new presets. You know what I mean? So you got just a bunch of presets. You know what I mean? Just like that. So this is your synth. So for instance, let's go to a poly. and then, you know, play with the sound. Take off some of that attack. I like that. And you can stack instruments as well. So if I take a presence and stack it on top, so I can go right here because I know that's the last track, or I can go here. It's whatever, like I say. So I have the option to replace, combine, or keep. So I'm gonna combine it and turn this into the multi instrument. So if you can't afford Omnisphere, you guys hear that a lot, right? You can create your own Omnisphere like this, because all Omnisphere is just several instruments. It's a multi instrument. So different sounds mesh together that creates a bigger sound. So that's what we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna double click presence and open that up. And this is all on the same track. So I'm gonna go to a preset here and look for something. Let's say cellos. And now I can do my mixing. You know, I could turn, say, like, I feel like my tie is too loud. I could bring it down, or vice versa. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't stack those particular instruments together. Maybe if I can find, I don't know, that probably won't work either. But you know, I'm just showing you, you know. That's an interesting sound right there. Let me go to something else in my tie. Okay. Let's change this piano. And I can mute it if I didn't, just see what it sound like without it. So that's muting the piano. That's you can also mute it from here as well. Let's start with that. I like that. So let's record. So I'm gonna hit T for tap tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna hit V to clear off everything off the screen. Another way to tap tempo is just hitting the word tap tempo. Right. So I'm gonna click 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna click that. So it brought me to 134, but I really want 145. I'm gonna hit C for cycle or not. I thought my loop would turn on. Looks like it don't want to turn on. I don't know why. Oh, actually, let's see. Let's set our cycle. We'll have to set it. That's why. Learning your key command shortcuts is pretty vital. All right, let's go with that. So I'm gonna go to the start. 2, 3. I like to start with my metronome on. I don't know why it doesn't do this by default, but this little button down here is your metronome. So when I hit the wrench icon, I have these options. So I can say click and play, which I don't ever do. So just copy these, screenshot that or pause the video, or whatever. Make sure your settings are this because I don't like it when it click and play. That's not my thing. But I do prefer it to pre-count. So that's why this is checked. This pre-count right here is the same as this here. If I, boom, 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 or if I could do it from here. So I very seldom even open this window unless there's something that's wrong. So I usually just turn this on or turn this metronome on, either or. So I like to start using just a bar for pre-count. If 2 bars is too long for me, I like to get to it. Some people like 2 bars. I don't know, they're just not ready. But 4. Let's do that over. I'm trying to figure out if I wanted to do that long. No, let's keep it short. All right, let's keep it short. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick command. I hit Q for quantizing. Now, some of these commands may not be in your basic setup. So if you are new to this, my key commands is different from other people. So, but in order to set your key command, what I suggest you do is just always I don't know, maybe you want to keep this window open or just push it off to the side because you're going to need to have this open because some things that you're going to want to do, you're gonna want to come in and quickly see if you can find it. So like for instance, for quantize, right? So I'm gonna type in quantize, and as you can see, there are several options that pop up, but you got to know which one you're looking for. So in my case, I'm going for event. this is quantized, or you can say quantize 50%. So if I'm looking to quantize 50%, but not like 100%, you know what I mean? 50% will give you a quantize that's closer, like 50% closer to the grid, but like a little bit off. There are times, trust me, there are times where you want to 50% quantize. You don't want to necessarily quantize to the grid like that. But in this case, I'm quantizing, and that's Q. Actually, I think it might be better if I 50% quantize because I'm working with a piano and I want it to be like authentic. I mean, close to human. You see how I quantize, and if I come in, I zoom in a little bit further, you can kind of see a little bit how it is not so quantized. If you don't know key command, if you don't prefer to work that way, that's totally fine. You can always make your adjustments here to the side, off to the left side. You can make some of the same decisions. There's your quantize deal here. You change your resolution from this area. I'm gonna close that back. Highlight all of these, and I haven't noticed that either. They changed this as well. They changed everything. All right, 50% quantize again. Shift Q, bring it a little bit closer. See, actually, I don't think it quantized 50%. So every time I hit it, it's like it brings it, I don't know, like 10% closer. All right. If you ever have issues with coming close, you got to change resolution. So your quantize here is like your 1H, 16, 32, 64s. These are really all you're going to worry about. You're not going to worry about the 1/4, 1 seconds. The only way you will worry about these is if you know what you're doing. In modern mood music, you're not going to use this. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have a reason to even go to these three below. And I'm just being real. Typically you'll see 1/8, 16, 32, 64s. You might see 128s as well. It's not in here, but you can definitely somehow get it. And then you got triplets here. Depends on what you're doing. And then you get to the swings. If you want to know if you want the swing sound, that might become handy depending on what you're doing. Usually like hip hop or like jazz or something like that. But this right here is all the way off right here. So we're gonna bring that closer. We're gonna fix that. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So this one is. Let's get that closer. Man, a lot of these are just way off. All right. So basically, we are live, and I'm missing a whole lot of steps. If you guys are watching me, which is why I want to promote the school, creativeu.org. You should be heading there, of course, after this video. But that's the website on the screen right now, creativeu.org. If you want a slow down breakdown of this, but for free, not the courses, but for free, you're watching this video here on YouTube for free. So don't be upset if I'm skipping through a lot of stuff. The courses on the website is only $44 right now if you want to go ahead and pick that up. So, but I'm doing my best to break things down, but I'm doing my best. All right, back to the production. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying yourself. Comment inside the comment section if you are, or whatever you want to say. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? All right, so this is basic stuff. Hopefully you are following me. If I'm going too fast, if you guys are watching this video later on, it's like, dude, you like, what all the other stuff? You ain't tell us nothing about the other stuff, because that's not important right now. Studio One is very powerful. I'm gonna tell you that. It's very, very powerful. All this other stuff don't mean nothing. Well, it does. It does mean something, and I'm getting to it when that time comes. You know what I mean? I should have explained that in the beginning of the video. Like, as time goes, I'll show you what things are as we need it. Because a lot of times you don't need a lot of stuff. So I'll go through and explain this stuff, and it's like, what can you just start making the beat? Okay, great. A lot of stuff you don't even worry about that. There's a lot of things that Studio One can do, but it's not important at this stage. All you need to know is where to input your notes, how to edit your notes, which is in here. If you zoom in far enough, it'll tell you what these notes are. And if you click on it, it'll also tell you what it is, even over here. See, this is a B. Look like a B. Look like a diminished. Is that diminished? With an F in the bass. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, that is nuts. Look, I just wore myself out. I didn't realize it does that. Just by clicking on one note, I thought it was going to say D3. But it tells you the chord just by clicking on it. So it tells you the top chord. So this, okay. B. So, because I was going to tell you over here, to tell you, but I just thought that if you select everything, it'll tell you. But you ain't got to do that no more. Man, I'm sleeping, yo. Like, we used to have to select the chord and it'll tell you what the chord is, but this spells the chord. Like, that's what it is. And you click on it, of course it. All right, so what is this one? Aha. Same chord. Same chord. What if we go here? Select this. That's a C chord with an F in the bass. Let me give me a second as I reflect. I need to reflect on this. I'm supposed to be teaching y'all, but I'm amazed myself. This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay? This is amazing. If I click here, it'll tell me the chord. And I think I knew that. Nope. Okay, right here. All right. So input. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So, okay. That's crazy. So that's next level right there. Next level. So, I mean, you don't need this to say, if you select F, you don't need this side to tell you that it tells you right here. So if I hit this, yeah. So in this box right here, it tells you what it is. And I guess you could change. There you go. There's just so many ways to just do these things, but I never would go here to make that change. I just, move it like that. What up, Blueskis? Blueskis, are you okay? I'm glad to see you, man. It's like you've been on a long break, bro. I thought you moved out of the country or something. Like, what's going on, bro? I'm glad you still breathing, bro. I just. All right. See, like I just accidentally clicked on something. You don't need to know anything about that right now in this stage. So we're gonna click out of that. Although I did kind of explain that a little bit, but I'm gonna extend this note some. It's too choppy. I'm gonna add that in there, and of course I can overlay 1, 2, and then come out. Right? I can have this thing to follow if I want to. We can also link the top and the bottom at the same time. They're the same length, up and down. I'm gonna take off this follow. Sometimes it's great, sometimes not. So when I zoom in and out, everything stays together, the top and the bottom. That's the purpose of this here. If I take it off, if I take that off, depending on which area that I'm working on, it will extend that when I zoom in and out. See, I'm at the top layer, and then when I click down, hit the bottom layer, then it'll zoom and do whatever. So there are occasions that you want them link or unlink. You know what I mean? So that's how that works. All right, so I can adjust this because I don't want this to overlap that note. So yeah, cool. I'm gonna make some adjustments. Make some adjustments. All right. Now I'm gonna try to stick with like stock stuff because this video is for like simplistic stuff. But we could do a lot more with this. I do want to do something a little, you know what I mean? So here's my effects section. Let's add a chorus on it. Let's see what it sounds like. Let's throw it on here on top of. Let's throw a compressor on here. Now a compressor, all it does is just make things glue, like a glue sound. It make all the sounds that are low, it brings it up, and all the sounds that are high, meaning like your peaks, it helps tame those. In other words, it squishes things. All right, let's go for EQ. And I could just throw it in here like that as well. Let's turn this band on. And then turn it. Another one that's cool, I use it all the time. It's your red light distortion. Red light distortion is like your favorite friend. It adds distortion, but it adds a different type of sound, flavor. So let's go for reverb. And what I like to do with reverbs is actually throw it in the sends. You can get to your whole channel strip like this by hitting I or this button right here. In my case, it's just usually just hitting I on my keyboard. But this strip right here is the same as it is if I am in here in the mix. And also the way to change or switch between that is by down here. You can always click, if you're not really familiar yet, get rid of the browse if you want to. Close that down, give you more real estate here. So here's your edit. And this is usually when I'm clicking between. Again, this is one of those things where you will need to learn the key command for. In my case, it is X, but to switch back and forth, I think it's called toggle, if I'm not mistaken. Or not. Also, another way to look up key commands, I'll click here to say, okay, what is this? Transport. Key command is already changed. View console. That's what it is. So, view console. There we go. See, console is in your view section, and I just set a key command for it. So in my case, it's just always been X. So I could just toggle back and forth. Bring my mixer up. So in here, I'm looking at my mixer section, right? These are all the things we just put on there. Same as what we see over here. All over here, there's nothing on here. There's nothing there. You can also change your view if you like. If you don't like the way it looks, I usually come here when I'm just kind of getting a overview of what's going on in the entire track. But this is also another way to get to your tracks. Some people like this view where they actually hit this button here and it brings out everything on the side. Just like the way this looks on here over here. You can do the same thing here. I guess the Pro Tools in me stuck. So I like it this way, where I can just throw stuff on top of each other and it's always there when I toggle over in this view. But what we're gonna do here is grab a reverb. Studio One has a couple reverbs. Room reverb, open air. Just pick whichever one you. This is supposed to be the more extensive. I like to throw it in the sends. I'm not going to put it on the input. And the reason why I do that is if I put here on the input, it will add along with everything else, and I can also position it. Like I can come between lines. As you can see, you gotta be careful though. You know, when you see the little vertical, the horizontal line, then you can put in that spot or in that slot. If you go in the entire this slot is highlighted, that means you're gonna overwrite it. So be careful when you do that. So you go real slow. If you want to go in between, then that's when you do that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go here to sense. And what Studio One does, it automatically creates a sensor or aux channel. So now this reverb is on its own aux channel. We didn't have to create this. It did it on its own. And I'm doing it this way is because what if I want to send something else to the same reverb like these other tracks? I can use the same, route it over. That way, I only have one instance of a reverb. But, that's if you want to do it that way. So let's switch between. And I can also control how much of it that I send to the reverb from here. I'm also going to do something pretty cool, because we can also add note effects to these tracks. And it's basically right here. I can turn this on. Sounds pretty cool, actually. It doesn't make sense now because all of my notes are short right now. However, what I'm gonna do here is duplicate so these tracks are the same, right? I'm gonna do something cool on the second track. I'm gonna take this out because I'm gonna do something else. And this time, quantize it perfectly. And then now this bar up here will make sense. So when I click on here, these are my macros. I can overlap these or not. What is making it legato? And making it legato means legato is long or sustain is long. Then you got staccatos. You're going to hear these terms pretty soon. Staccatos are shorts, and these are usually orchestral terms, but it's kind of a universal term around production. As you can see, legato. So basically, I made these legatos. It made it long, and what Studio One does, it makes it legato until it hits the next note. And for this last note or this last chord, it won't go anywhere. It'll just remain where it is in terms of the length, of my original insert. So I'm gonna go to something else that's supposed to say like to the end part or something like that. It might be in here, and you can also customize these to say whatever you want it to say. But it's not important right now. If you just learn the Studio One, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We get deeper in that later on. So I'm gonna right click And it's probably going to be here. Let me make sure that student one didn't make some more changes. I'm looking at these things. But it's supposed to be extend to part N. That's what it is right here. So now it's going to take it to the end of this thing. So now I could do something pretty cool in here. First of all, we're going to go to this track and deactivate the note effects here. We're going to deactivate that. Now we're going to go to the next track. Let's make sure we're on the right track. Hold on. You know what I think it's doing. Let's see. It's almost like there we go. Oh, I must have been making the adjustments to this one here. That's what it was. Let's just take this off. It's confusing. Let's remove it. There we go. Now it should sound better. Now let's change the sound because it will make sense when we change the sound. Let me mute this one. Something more like a pluckish, or a bell or something like that. Let's go to lead. That's cool. All right, I can also change the gate on here too to make it more choppy. Yeah. And let's unmute this other one. We'll do a little bit of something to this piano. Kind of chop it up a little bit. Turn off this reverb. Let's mute it. I'm gonna take this off. Yeah. So we're just making little changes here and there. I'm gonna take this off. There we go. Let's take that off. I'll leave the compressor on there. Boy Wonder, what up? Great Keys, what up? I feel some red light coming. My man, my man. I kind of want to do something different with this here. But I haven't touched any third party anything yet. Just showing you guys like how easy it is to make beats in here. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back to the effects. It's very tempting though to use my other stuff. I'm gonna take the presence off of it because it's probably doing too much. All right, so let's go back to the impact. Let's play with those new Lola drums. Let's see what else we got. All right, let's go. 2, 3, 4. You can also input quantize as well, so I'm gonna turn it on. So that way you gotta quantize later on. So as you insert the notes, it just locks in place. All right, I'm gonna show y'all a trick. Yeah, well, you could create your everything like right now, like most people do. Like they create a whole section right here and then they duplicate it and start doing other things. So next thing, I like to create stuff in a linear workflow. I use Ableton a lot as well for some of the same reasons, like in terms of like workflow. But right now, I think we are ready to go to the next step. Right. And I still have this one thing up here. I haven't showed you guys what this is. Don't worry about that. That's not important. But what we're going to do here is activate these arranger. And this is what makes Studio One magic, in my opinion. All right. 2, 3, 4. That was a mistake right there. This is another view. I'm gonna show you right now how to get them knocking drums. First of all, we're gonna make this mono. We want this to come out of 1, this out of 2. And basically what I'm doing is creating its own lane. So when you, oh, wrong one. Yeah, so it already created its own lane. So when you come back to the console area, this is the kick. And what I do wish that Studio One does is when you route them out like this, give us the name of the pad, yo, instead of me having to do this manually. That's what I want to see. I'm gonna bring this down just a bit. Get them knocking kick? Okay, no problem. Let's go for compressor since I can't go for a transient. But usually you will go for a transient, some type of transient plug-in. Make this thing pop, yo. But we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna bring up the attack. Quick release. Turn off auto. My threshold down a little bit. Let's bring this down. Same for this. And once I take this, bring it over, it copies. Now, I'm gonna show y'all. Okay, I want to replace that hi-hat. I have to come over here to loop. I'm still playing with the NOLA joints, so let me see what's in here. It looks like the NOLA is pretty decent so far. So I'm gonna click in here. And that's the thing. When you searching for these things, NOLA. Okay, there's no files. So if I click on it, it won't let me, because it's only looking for NOLA, you know. That's the thing behind that. There's got to be another way. Let's say, let's do that. All right, maybe look for it this way. So the NOLA joints are in. Ooh. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. Would it be trapped? Probably not. Or maybe. This is another thing. Okay, let's go for product. That's probably the best way to do this. Let's go for product. So let's go. Let's just scroll until we see Nola. There we go. That's the best way to do it. All right. So I do want a snare from this. No, hi-hat. That's what I want. Sometimes you gotta go. Okay, let's do this. I'm not gonna throw it in here. Let's use that loop. The loop was kind of cool. Same as I show you guys, like for plugins, like when you go between stuff, same deal here. If you go here on the track, you're gonna put it there. But if you go in between, and it kind of shortens up, you can see, put it in the middle here, let go, and it does that. Let's zoom out of this thing here and see what we got. Kind of like the back end. That was kind of cool. But I'm gonna show y'all another trick. Because you can actually move. And I hate how that sounded. So when you do it like that, you gotta be careful. So I'm gonna cut it. So zoom in some more. When you zoom in, you can get precise with it. Let's take that. Let's bring that right here. Let's see what it sounds like. I actually want to, and we're working with wave now. Smooth that right there. Actually, let's do it like this. Let's see what it sounds like if I time stretch it. Let's just try and stretch this right quick and see what happens. That sounded pretty cool. If I change the and these files are non-destructive. Let's see if I change. right click, transpose. I actually don't like that. I want to have time this. So let's do that. Have time. I guess we could take it to 12 or 13. Don't do it like that. Let's glue them. Just bounces in place. And now I could probably time stretch it. I could also go here to the side and say speed up by 2 times or 0. Let's see, was that one? Probably 0.5. 0.5 is, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Just kind of play with it until you get what you like. You know what I mean? Just play around with it until you get something, and then we're going back to impact and add a hi-hat. I hate that these are loops and not one shots. Let's see what's going on here. This is also another way to do it. If you got a long file, just so for note repeat. Yep, I knew that question was coming. No problem. Note repeat is done like this. Come down here. And this little window pops up. Activate it. Make some adjustments. So let's go back to sample one. Let's see if this bass that we add earlier sounds good. All right, let's go. Let's go with something else. Sometimes there's presets in here, depending on what you got going on, and then, but there's other times where you could just drag in your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. These are sitars. Do I make any funk? No. Let's pull in a 808 from somewhere. So if you type in like broad words like that, you can find something. Like kick, snare, hi-hat, 808, claps. Let's add that right quick. Sorry, I had to add that in there just in case I needed it. So let's go back in here. Let's go back to sample one because we was looking for a bass. Am I taking requests? Meaning, like, what do you mean by take requests? I like that kick. I'm gonna have to keep going back to impact. This is what happens a lot too, guys. Like when you find something you like, because I'm gonna stack these. So this one, the kick could be stronger. Basically, you come up here and type in the pad. This is C1, so you come up here, select this, and then type that in here, C1, and then you could control the gain. Now it kind of hits a little harder. Send me beats to listen to. Like, what are you looking for? Like a critique or something? Thanks, 803, for explaining that. You know what I think? I don't know if you just want me to listen to the beat. I really don't know how to answer that. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but yeah, I'm not really sure how to answer that. Said just listen to it if you want, though. Not trying to yeah, I'm gonna decline that one. So I'm just trying to understand like what's the motive behind sending me a beat just to listen to it if I'm not critiquing it, or if you don't think that I have ways to pass it along. Like, if I think it's fire, maybe you think that I'm going to pass it along or something like that. Like, I'm trying to, I have a network already set up. Like I got my people who rocks with me. That's already in my network. Like my students. Like if I feel like their beats are dope, I help my students out. My students out. You know what I mean? But they already linked. They are inside my circle already. Ooh, that's a nice one. And as you can see, I do beats myself. So it's like, usually when people send me beats, they're asking for critiques. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I'm just keeping it 100. Like I ain't gonna sit in here and tell you like, yeah, send me the beat, and then all it's gonna do is just sit on my hard drive, and I don't really have space like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 100. Like what is the, I don't know. I guess I want to say I don't really have time to do that. If there's no motives behind it, like what am I doing? Listen to the beat and be like, oh, okay, this is nice. And then, I don't know. You know what? It's funny you said that. 803. I'm gonna save this thing. It's on YouTube. I see. I knew it was a catch-22 to it. Now you sound like you spammy. I got it. I get it. It makes sense now. It makes sense. You're going after views. Got it. Let's throw this one in here. I think this one is dope. Let's take this one out. Remove. Sometimes this happens, so let me fix the quantize. You can also quantize from here. Like you got this area and then you got this area up here, which Sometimes you gotta take stuff out. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you making tracks and you add some things that sound cool at the moment, and then when you progress, you have to take some stuff out. You know what I'm saying? That happens a lot. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna link those together. So that one's C sharp 1. I'm gonna just make that stereo. Sounds. I'm gonna like pan it a little bit. And also what I'm gonna do here is add this to a group. The drums. So now I'm gonna let's create a group. I'm gonna go ahead and create a bus for it, because if you don't do it that way, then it would just be a folder and you want it to pop up. See, now when I change the color, see, now we get into now I'm going to start cheating now, because I'm going to get into some stuff. Say, for instance, you do have some of the third-party stuff. And this is why you need third-party plugins to do cool stuff like that. Some gain to this. Now we about to go somewhere different. delete this track that we started with before. What's up, Spaces? What makes Studio One better than FL Studio or Ableton or Logic Pro? Nothing. 803 says Studio One is probably the best structure out of all of the DAWs, but I say nothing. There's nothing about Studio One that makes it better than anything else. It's all about preference. It's what you think. It's all about what you think that makes it better. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. That's what it boils down to. Cause I could say all these things about Studio One would make it better, but if you go and you use Studio One and you may discover that it don't make it no better than what you were already using. I always tell people that the DAW that you use is the best DAW of all DAWs. So in my opinion, of course, Studio One is way better. To me, Studio One is better than using FL Studio. I've never used FL Studio, so I really can't speak on FL Studio. So you guys that been following me for a long time, you know I hardly speak on FL Studio. In fact, anytime I say anything about FL Studio, it has always been great things because I see how people use it. I follow a bunch of people who use it. But you know, this is a good point. This is a great point. I'm glad you asked that, Baby Rage. That's a question that a lot of people ask when they're searching for programs to work out of. FL Studio is great for what it does, and it's the best DAW for people that use it. Based on what I see when people use FL Studio, I think it's really cool how people work in there and what they come up with. But is it enough for me to switch to? Probably not. Cubase. Cubase is a dope platform. I see what people do in there. As a matter of fact, I gave it a shot. I downloaded Cubase one time and I tried to work in it. It was all right. Was it for me? Absolutely not. I couldn't see myself working in there. The workflow it didn't gel with what I was trying to do. I have Reason. Do I use Reason? No. I use Reason Rex. And basically, Reason is a full-on DAW, but they release the ability to use their effects as plugins in any DAW. So that's what I use Reason for, because some of their effects is dope and some of their instruments are dope. So I can use Reason inside of Studio One as a plugin, right? Have I used Reaper? maybe a couple of times. Do I like it? No, I don't. I don't care for it. Like me personally, like even though Reaper is dope, like it got a lot of features, it's dope. It's pretty dope. Is it for me? No, I don't feel a connection to Reaper. I use Logic. Logic was like something I used back in the day. Is it fire? Absolutely. Is it for me? No. But I still use Reason from time to time because it's on my system. I own it. And every once in a while, like when they come out with something new, it's pretty cool. What makes Studio One dope to me is the way that I'm using it as I'm showing you guys. That's probably like if I'm trying to sell Studio One, it's probably but see, I wanna be transparent. I don't want to sell anything to anybody and it not live up to your standard. Like I can't see how he talks about this stuff and he said it's I mean, I'm not that guy. I'm not I don't come on these streams or these videos and say that Studio One is the best dog. I just don't. It's just what I use. And if you so happen to use Studio One, join the channel, subscribe, because I use Studio One. I also use Ableton. I think Ableton is pretty dope. Ableton is fire, bro. I use Ableton. Absolutely. Is it better than Studio One? It depends. It depends on what you're doing. That's how I look at it. It really depends on what you're doing. Yeah. And that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but it just really depends. I think they all do the same thing. All dolls do the same thing. So this channel is set up for people who decided after you seeing several videos and you like the workflow of Studio One. And of course you gotta like me. You gotta love Ellip in order to follow the channel. You gotta love the way I do things. Otherwise you'll go to somebody else that do things differently. You know what I mean? But you've already kind of came to the conclusion that Studio One is something you interested in, and then you came here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you still between decisions. You don't know if Ableton is better, if Studio One better. I tell you this. I'll tell you this much. I've met a lot of people who switched to Studio One from Ableton. That's following me on this channel. There's a handful of them, but there's people who switch to Ableton because they feel like Ableton is the better solution. It just depends. I can't really say. I don't know how to really answer that question. It's like Ableton has a workflow where you have to love its workflow in order for it to be the best thing for you. Studio One does things a little bit differently. So the things that it does differently, like 803 says, like the structure, like if you like to be organized in a way where you have a arranger window and you want to be able to duplicate real fast, Studio One I feel like does it the best. Ableton creates markers. Studio One creates markers and it also has an arranger, which means that all I have to do is click that arranger and I can duplicate an entire section. And I can come between sections. And I can also swap section just by dragging one arranger over between that one and something that's before it, and it swaps automatically. Ableton, you got to work a little harder. Studio One, bounce in place. I like to bounce in place. You guys haven't really seen me do it, but it's something I do a lot because I try. Right now, I'm just trying to keep everything in MIDI form. But if you care about bouncing things in place fast, and if you're like me, my tracks end up being huge. Like I would have 60 tracks just doing a simple beat. But that's just how I am. Like I have different things going on in my sessions. That's just doing a beat. Has nothing to do with what I'm mixing. When it comes down to mixing, I'm mixing a project right now. I'm at 130 tracks. And it may continue going to more and more and more and more. And I ain't even done with that mix. But anyway, needless to say, like with that aspect as well, what I just mentioned, you someone who mixes inside a box. Studio One is worth looking at. I don't like Pro Tools. I stay away from it. I used Pro Tools for years. I'm not going back. So I can speak on Pro Tools. I have the right because I've worked out of Pro Tools. Push button, what up, man? I've used everything but except Pro Tools. Started with Cakewalk when it was. You say started with Cakewalk when it was 12 tone. It's not the DAW. It's the hand control. Yeah. I've never used Cakewalk. I heard some things about it. I heard it was pretty cool, but I've never tried it. I reached out to is it Band Lab because they own Cakewalk now, and I honestly wanted to try it, but they're only on Windows now. I guess they're like the Logic of Apple, right? So that's a PC only program. So I never had a chance to try it. So it is what it is. Don't forget Scratchpad. Scratchpad. You guys see me use Scratchpad. Scratchpad is pretty dope for getting out ideas real quick. Like if you are using, actually you can use Scratchpad however you want. It was one stream I did where I did like 4 songs using the Scratchpad. I also use the Scratchpad when I want to create variations of the same track just to see what I want to do. Cause it's one thing to do before the Scratchpad. What we used to do was, oh, I got this idea. We used to go to like a further part of a song and come up with an idea, like a variation further on in the song. The only problem with that is if you forget to erase that stuff, or maybe you don't want to erase it. Maybe you thought it was cool, you want to keep it, but you don't want to end the song. So Scratchpad, we got Scratchpad. So something cool you came up with. So yeah, I don't know no other DAWs that's doing that. I don't think no other DAWs are doing that. I don't know other DAWs have Scratchpad where you can just in the same project come up like it's like it sounds Scratchpad. You know what I'm saying? Um, what else can I think of that macros, custom key commands. Ableton, you are forced to learn their key commands. Like Pro Tools, Pro Tools is the same way. You're forced to learn key commands. You can't customize your key commands in Pro Tools. 803 doesn't like Cakewalk. The master page, absolutely. I mastered to master page is dope. That's all in Studio One. There are many reasons to love Studio One business based on everything it has to offer, but it may not be necessary for some of you guys that are doing music. That may not even be a thing. It's like, yeah, uh, master. I don't master, so I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it just depends on where you are, what you're trying to do. That's a good topic. I appreciate you bringing that up. I don't see he commenting anymore, so I don't know if I said the wrong thing or said mastering is a beast. Absolutely, absolutely. Say no more. That's see, we can go on and on and on and on and list out a million things as to why we love. See, these are my normal people that are on. They going down the list. I mean, they're going down the list. They're shutting the chat section down right now as we speak. They're just going down the list. Like, oh yeah, don't forget to mention this. Oh yeah, this and that. You could do this too. You know, Look, they listen. They laying it down. Everyone is laying down. And anyone who hasn't comment, you are welcome to put in the chat what you feel like Studio One does that I should speak on. And I promise you, this thing gonna fill up real quick. So that's just what it is, and that's because we use Studio One, and a lot of us have used several other DAWs. So it's the reason why we can like say why we like these things, because it you can't find these things in other DAWs, or you like how Studio One does it better. But then there's a lot of people who like Ableton for some of the same reasons. For the same reasons. Like I could do this in Ableton. Like I love Ableton for the workflow, like what you can do in Ableton in terms of sound, design, natively in the DAW, punchy drums. We have to use plugins, third party plugins in Studio One. Ableton Live, you can do that stuff with its own native devices. It's in Ableton. You don't have to outsource any third party. Like Ableton is fire by itself. Ableton is a modular based platform where you can add LFOs. Boom, right there. I mean, in the area, the audio sampling area, before you go to the actual sampler device, you can make cool effects changing the beat format, the format of the actual sample. You know what I mean? Like in that little box by itself, you can make changes in terms of the sound. Like that's crazy. That's bananas to me. So it just depends. Man, that was like an hour long answer. I am sorry. I am sorry, man. I'm sorry. I said Pro Tools isn't really set up well. Let me optimize my screen so I can see what's going on. So I can't see these questions. So Pro Tools isn't really set up well for the creative side like in other DAWs. But the audio editing feature is what made it what it is today. I mean, and yeah, that's a known fact. Pro Tools Pro Tools is locked when it comes to editing. By far one of the best DAWs when it comes to that. Mixing and editing. I prefer not to use it. It's not my thing, but I feel like the only thing that can come next to Pro Tools is Studio One. That's just my opinion. And that's because I used Pro Tools before. So I can say those things. But yeah, Studio One is probably the only one, with the exception of Luna. Luna is another. Oh, and I can't forget another one. Um, it's another one out there that some people use, but it's not really popular in the sense of the modern world where it's, you know what I'm saying, like the common terminology that pops up in terms of like what DAW is popular. You're gonna always hear Ableton, Cubase, Reason, Logic, Studio One. I mean, those are the main ones, to be honest with you. FL Studio, can't forget that one. But then you got this other one that not many people are talking about, and I can't remember the name of it. Harrison. That's the other one. You got Harrison. Harrison is one of those. Harrison is one of those DAWs that probably should have been Pro Tools. You know what I mean? Like in terms of standard, Harrison, the Harrison DAWs probably should have been the Pro Tools. But I mean, I can't get mad at Pro Tools. Pro Tools have a certain sound, a certain workflow. People love it. That's why people still use it. That's all I can say about it. The iOS Beatmaker 3 and RE Pro uh Arturia. You mean Arturia? Is that what you is the win on the iOS? Yeah, yeah. Like the mobile game has changed a lot. If you have a mobile app, if you can make beats on your phone, that any day wins because that's where people are. People do most of it. People run businesses, full on businesses through their mobile phones. So if you have the ability to make beats on your phone, you in there. Definitely. There's something I've been trying to get personas to recognize. Like, bruh, we need a beat making app, bruh. Why is y'all playing with me? Stop playing. Make an app, bro. Yeah, I know y'all could do it. Y'all got a remote. We got a Studio One remote. What's a beat making app? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, come on, y'all could do it. Y'all could so do that. Touch Tone is in the building. What's up, bro? I have Harrison Big Buzz. It's definitely different. Oh, couldn't forget about Bitwig. Um, Bitwig is still fairly new. A lot of people still don't know about it. You know, like what is Bitwig? I get that a lot. Oh, it's like Ableton. Oh, okay. And then I wouldn't digital performing. Digital performer is like trying to think it. It's not like it's not really what people are using. You know, I didn't bring it up. I thought about it. It's not, but yeah, I get you. But not many. It's like a a very small, minute community that uses DP. But when you look at YouTube, nobody banging out trap beats on. Which trap music is king right now. Everybody trying to make trap music. Everybody trying to do pop, EDM. And not many people are doing that in DP. So I didn't mention it. So and that's also why I didn't really mention the Harrison joint like that because it's not something you find. Even when people put a list together, they say the 10 top dolls, the 10 5, the top 5 dolls. You you're not you're not going to find Harrison on there. I can promise you that. But it's slept on. I'll say in the modern community, you got the guys that use Pro Tools. If you're not using Pro Tools, you're probably using Harrison. And then you got Luna that's shutting the game down right now. So it's like, oh, new kid on block. What do you do now? Absolutely. Touched on say I like different dolls for different reasons. I think us users to benefit the most because They make each other better, except Pro Tools. Absolutely. I'm just sitting back watching how this is gonna go, because I do feel like the different dolls that are out now, they're put. You know what? I do feel like all of them right now, as it stands, is it's like they got comfortable. Because all dolls at this point right now in 2022, it feel like all of them has gotten complacent. Nobody's doing nothing innovative. And I'm not sure how much more you could do. We got everything, bro. We're doing things that is unbelievable right now in the music making space. Like, what else could you do other than improve on what you already have? You know, everybody's trying to like hop on. Everybody copying each other. That's basically what it is. A lot of people said that about Studio One. Now I'll tell you this: the other reason why I use Studio One is because they listen to their customers. A lot of things that we have now in Studio One is because customers come over and they make complaints or they make suggestions. And so what do personas do? They go in and create a version of that, and bam, we got all these things. So I remember hearing people say that, like, man, Studio One, they just copied everybody. Not necessarily. She got a lot of people who use Pro Tools and they are really interested in switching over to Studio One, but it doesn't have this, right? That's what they say. And that's personas listen to them. I remember when VCA faders was first introduced. We didn't have VCA faders before, but a certain kind of Pro Tools users, and I'm talking about the one with the higher caliber. They make uh suggestions and personas moves on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I will move over to Studio One if it had VCA faders. Personas like that. Let's put VCA faders in here, and that's based on that conversation. But people think that Studio One is sitting back looking at Pro Tools like, oh, they got this and that. Oh, we're gonna put that in our DAW. And I'm not I'm not silly. I know that they do sit back and watch, which is why these people are neck and neck, you know what I'm saying? But the other reason why I like Studio One is even though they do have a lot of features that are familiar to you from other platforms, they do pretty much stay ahead of the game in terms of innovation right now. What other DAW you can produce in, turn around and mix in the mix page, and then you can go on the show and perform this in a dedicated show page. And with their other extension, which is the batch, like when you're mixing, if you're mixing drums or something like that, sometimes you get people who send you stuff incorrect, like format wise. You can pull up batch converter and it'll spit that stuff. Like you could switch stuff from audio to mono like that. You can change the sample rate like that. Meanwhile, all the same sample rate. It also makes that a great tool for sound design. Make sure all your files are the same format and they all normalized at the same time, and stuff like that. Like, what other DAW when you export an MP3, you can set up your own album art in here and export it down. What other DAW that's doing that? It might be a couple, but not all of them. I know Logic for a fact wasn't doing that. Pro Tools for a fact wasn't doing that. Trying to think of another one that I would use. So they do kind of stay ahead of the game in terms of innovation. So there you have it. Push button. I'm telling you, that is one of my reasons why I wanted Reason. And I'm gonna be honest with you, because of the layout. I was like, ooh, that layout right there. Exploding drums and pad track is pretty amazing in Studio One. Absolutely, that's one of my favorite features. I think that's why I haven't went more analog lately. I think that's why I went. Yeah, touch tone. Uh, Absolutely. Say dolls are like trap music right now. There's a little variation between them, but pretty much all the same. And that's how we got into this conversation. Someone asked like, which one is better? You know, what makes Studio One better than any other dolls? And my answer was nothing. Studio One is not better than other dolls. There is nothing. Like I say, there is a list of things that will make Studio One stand out beyond other dolls, but that's only for a selective person. That's not for everybody. The things that I feel like Studio One does above everybody else, my list as to why it stands out may not fit may not fit you. So ultimately, the answer is there's nothing Studio One can do better than. So like if I put Ableton and Studio One together, Studio One can bounce in place. So essentially, it does it better than Ableton because Ableton is a two-step process. You got to freeze the track first and then flatten it. And then when it does that, it deletes the instrument and you got to start all over again. Because if you're anybody like me, a lot of times I use, like for instance, drums. Like if I'm in battery, I'll use that and export, like program something, export it, bounce it down. In Studio One, it bounces down onto the new track. It leaves my instrument track alone, and I keep going. That workflow is, mm, it's amazing. I love it. But you may not need that feature. That may not be something you prefer. You may not even care about that because of what you do and how you produce your music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, okay. It's not even a real feature. Like, oh, so I'm gonna do a podcast on that one. I need to write that down. Like, what dog is better than the other? I'm gonna do a podcast. I'm starting to do podcasts now, guys. Like I got some stuff lined up, and once I'm ready, I'm gonna give out the link. I'm gonna blog on it, and I'm gonna show you. Yeah. I got some things I want to like address, like like my expression of music and what I've been doing for years. 803 say reason is a bass. I use it a lot. That's what's up. Studio One, hands down, for me, is the go-to for mixing. I feel that way too, bro. I feel that way, but other people obviously don't, cause Pro Tools is still on top. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who mix in Cubase. I've seen it. I went to a studio and I was this dog. I was like, what? We never mix in Cubase, but there are some people who mix in Cubase. There, get Logic is another one. It's just all preference, man. It's just, I know that guy that answered that question is gonna probably it's offline and can be like, dude, you still talking on that, bro? I got another idea. was on fly right there. On fly. Let's get back to it, guys. Good conversation. Let's keep it going. Say, oh, the video player in Studio One it's a nice addition. Even though FL did it first. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Somebody started it first and then other people started doing it later on. You know what I mean? However, I'm not really sure who did it first. I would have thought Cubase did it first. Steinberg is like the leader in a lot of stuff, like with the VST deal. But I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. FL probably could have been the first. But when one DAW does it, everybody has to do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own version of that thing. You know. I should change the title of this video because we certainly did not stay in the confines of the title. We started out that way, but we definitely went somewhere else. But it could be good. It could be a good conversation because these are topics that everything that we did in this video are normal topics that people worry about and they search on Google for these answers. The lagging is serious, so we're gonna just take our time and get it right. The lagging, yo, the lagging. Get rid of that. Take that there. So this is something else that I do. Like, I don't have to finish it out. This is the power behind editing. Just do some of it and then just move it to wherever you want it to go. And then, you know. bounce in place. Spin a little bit. Appreciate the $1.99 push button. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that, man. Let me put that kaleidoscope. I got it now, y'all. Kaleidoscope on this joint. Different. I'm bouncing that. crazy, weird stuff. think Studio One is trying very hard not to crash. That was what that was. they made some improvements. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna put the Kaleido joint on this one. I ain't in love with that one. Let's learn the notes again. Okay. So F major to A. A minor, F major to A minor. So F major to A minor. So I gotta learn the note. F major to A minor. So the first note. All right. Let's push. Let's push it. guys. So that's what I got. We can come back to this. I've been on here way too long, but just want to just show y'all. Um, you will need third party plugins to do this other stuff that I'm doing because this is third party plugins. There is nothing inside of Studio One that makes it sound like this. Sorry to say, but there is a lot of samples you could play with if you upgrade to Sphere. If you have a Sphere account, you can grab stuff and be done with stuff. That's what a lot of the kids doing these days right now. They just pulling samples and putting them together and not really giving it thought. It already sound good. That's why I splice here. You know what I'm saying? You can grab stuff, put it together real quick. Could have made 20 beats during the stream, but doing something different. And plus I started out with stock stuff. So now I'm trying to bring it back full circle or whatever. I have to train myself to use stock stuff because I really never really use stock stuff. I mean, I do, but not often. So we started out. There's a lot of. Only time I use stock stuff is when I'm building on top of what I'm using, like samples and third party stuff. I'll come back, and if I feel like I need to like make it thicker or stronger, I'll come back with some stock stuff. And usually the stock stuff is good enough to thicken stuff and add on top of, and different variations or whatnot. But like the bare bones of the track is usually not stock. So Bruce, what's up, Bruce? How you feel, sir? Blueski, I'm glad to see you still at it. Sound. Look, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm always gonna be at this, bro. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. I do have a 9 to 5 job that I report to, and other projects that I do. So with all of that being on my plate, I am not on the stream as much as I would like, but yeah, I'm never putting this down. This is just what I do. It's what I do, man. It's just get some things in place so that I can come back to this and do these more often. So that's what I'm working on. So, but I definitely appreciate all you guys that hung around this long. If I have anybody who hung around this long, and for the people who returned, was on here like 2 hours ago. It's like, bro, you still on? Dang, dude. You know. But I'm gonna log on off. That's what we got. I guess we could do part 2. Finish up the beat. I'm pretty sure it's gonna change. But that's how it be sometimes. Hey, you can never be afraid of changing the beat. If if you go in one direction and you feel like the beat is better going in that direction, let it flow. Just go with it. Sometimes it happens like that. Who say you gotta stick with what you start the beat off with? Like there's no rules to this. Y'all see me change the vibe all the time. 5 hours later, it's like, whoa, is that the same beat? Yes, technically. Well, no, it's not. Not the same beat because I changed up a lot, but it's still it's the concept. It's how the beat evolved into where it went. So yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy. Remember, music is art. You're the artist. Paint your picture. Stay creative without rules.